So I actually am like I feel almost bad for Marina Mabrey because it has happened not once but twice where she has been traded to a team and they immediately start rebuilding. She basically was traded from the Dallas Wings to the Chicago Sky. She was traded because James Wade is the king of going all in. I mean this. Like, he was the king of going all in. He did everything to go all in. He put together a team that had Courtney Williams in 2023 when Marina Mabrey signed. They had like Courtney Williams. They had Kalia Copper. They had Elizabeth Williams, who is so good. People just forget how good Elizabeth Williams is. They had Alana Smith. They had so many players. They were stacked. Like, they were like expected to at least compete for a title. And they didn't. It is what it is. But then, the team immediately goes into a rebuild. They trade away most of their assets. Elizabeth Williams gets injured. They let Courtney Williams and Alana Smith walk in free agency. And Marina Mabrey is on the team. She's on the team, which is rebuilding, trying to lose, and she then ends up getting traded to the Connecticut Sun. And this is what she said after getting traded to the Sun. Being part of a team like that is so disciplined with a championship mindset. I haven't been a part of that yet. Which was true. She literally got traded. And by the way, the Sky aided Marina Mabrey. The Sky got a king's ransom back for her. They got the 10th pick. They got what's probably going to be the 5th pick next year. Or they might be able to get Dejanay Carrington via sign and trade if they just give this Connecticut Sun their pick back. But like, being part of a team like this with a championship mindset, haven't been a part of that. Like, so it's still a big thing. Like, she literally got traded to a contender. And the Sun are in a worse position than the Sky were in. The Sun have nobody left. The Sun had 3 All-Stars. There is no way in hell DeWanna Bonner is staying. Like, DeWanna Bonner is going to Phoenix. Or maybe a tiny chance she goes to Indiana. But I would say 99% she's going to Phoenix. 1% she's going to Indiana. But DeWanna Bonner is not staying with the Connecticut Sun. Bree Jones just went. Bree Jones just left the Sun to go sit on a bench in Atlanta. Because there is no way in hell the Atlanta Dream are starting Bree Jones and Brittany Griner. Or if they're going to start, it's not going to be... They're not going to play together for that many minutes. But, yeah. Like, it's a horrible situation because she's a good player. Like, Marina Mabrey is a very good player who is at the stage in her career. She's, 28 years old. She's trying to win. And she'll go to a team that will help her win. And then that team implodes. She'll go to a team. And by the way, if she doesn't get hurt, the Sun probably make the WNBA finals. I mean that. The Sun probably make the WNBA finals if she doesn't go down. So, you know what? Her wanting to go to this team to win, they had a legitimate chance of winning. And the Sun matched up real well to the Liberty. The Liberty really struggled against the Sun for a lot of last season. They struggled. They didn't really have an answer for Alyssa Thomas. Leonie Fibich's ability to lock down individual players isn't that much of a factor. The Sun's off-ball movement was able to target Sabrina Ionescu. They were a horrible matchup for the Liberty. They could have won the championship last year. And I think had they made the finals, they would have won the championship last year. So she was not far off winning. And now she is right back into a rebuild. She was with a decent Chicago Sky team after leaving a decent Dallas Wings team. And then got out of Chicago to try win. And now the team's rebuilding again. And I'm trying to think of teams that can afford her. Like, just salary cap wise. She is on a $200K contract. It's not a max, but it's a $200K contract. So I am just clicked on the NBA standings, not the WNBA standings. My bad. So if we look at the teams, the Valkyries could sign her, but that's a rebuilding team. The Liberty do not have the cap space. The Lynx might be a good option. If Marina Mabrey wants to win, the Lynx could send back Diamond Miller. If the Connecticut Sun are trying to rebuild and the Lynx send back Diamond Miller, I don't know what way it works contract-wise, but they lost Maisha Hines-Allen, who's making very similar money to Marina Mabrey, and then the Lynx take whoever they draft at 11. So if they take like a Sanaya Rivers, or if Pow Pow's still there, or trying to think of players, Janiah Barker might still be there, Ayoka Lee, if they just want a big, like, you never know who's going to be there at 11. But they could trade Diamond Miller for Marina Mabrey, but I don't think that gets it done. It would probably have to be Diamond Miller and maybe 2 seconds, because they can't trade their 2026 pick because it's a pick swap with them in Chicago, and they're not going to potentially give up a lottery pick. So maybe if she wants to compete, she can get to Minnesota. Nalissa Smith, some package around Nalissa Smith for the Indiana Fever, and Nalissa Smith they have to figure out a way to replace Nalissa Smith anyway. I still think Dantas and Katie Lou are a fine 4-5 backup. I think they're a good 4-5 backup. I think they're a passable 4-5 backup. The Mercury don't have the cap space. The Atlanta Dream don't need her. They got Ryan Howard. I still think she'd be coming off the bench for the Fever, and she'd be coming off the bench for the Lynx. But like, they can afford her. The Dream can't afford her. They just signed 2 max contract players. The Mercury can't afford her. The Fever can. The Lynx can. The Sun, she's leaving. The Liberty can't. The Aces can't. The Storm can't, unless they're giving up Gabby Williams in the trade, which they're not going to do. Could the Storm... I was about to say, could the Storm do it? But the Storm gave Gabby Williams getting a max, so she's getting the Jewel Lloyd money. She's not going to go to Mystics. Back to the Sky? Genuinely, back to the Sky? The Sky just cut their losses and take Marina Mabrey back, and the only change is that they got the 10th pick. They gave up Marina Mabrey for half a season and gained the 10th pick. Like, that's not bad. And you just give them back their pick for next year. The Wings might. The only way the Wings could afford her, and she'd be still coming off the bench for a not very good Wings team, is if Paige and the Wings could use her. If Paige asks out and they get some assets and they give up like Tierra McCowan for her, and the Sparks, they don't need her and they can probably afford her, but I don't think she'll want to go there. So realistically, for Marina Mabrey, the Fever or the Lynx are the only realistic options, because I don't think she wants to be a tank commander in Connecticut. I think she starts next season potentially in Connecticut, but I do think if you are the Lynx, maybe like your second round pick this year, your second round, 2 seconds, and Diamond Miller. Like, it's only a 1-year rental of Marina Mabrey, who doesn't want to be in Connecticut. Connecticut would probably rather be real bad than be mediocre. Marina Mabrey will help them be mediocre. They're better off being real bad without her, especially if they're trying to get their pick back from Chicago. They'll get that 5th or so pick and they go into full-on tank mode, worst team in the WNBA level tank mode, and then go all in on the Juju Hidalgo draft. Like, I think that's what it's going to have to be. But for Marina Mabrey, I do feel bad, because she's twice since 2023. 2 years ago was the first time she signed up for a Win Now team. Then that Win Now team, after the end of the season, blew it all up. And then she got traded to another Win Now team who at the end of the season lost everybody. And she's just there by herself. So, yeah, not great to be honest. Anyway, I'll see you guys.